Leonard Cho speaks. We're doing The Last Jedi. This is Leonard Cho.
What's
I'm
up?
I'm the humble host. All right, let's get into it.
All right. Uh,
First off, thumb up,
yes.
thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, thumbs way the fuck up on this movie.
Yeah.
There's the people who didn't like it. I don't get it. I honestly, I don't even get it. I don't know what you were there for.
Yeah.
I was there for a kick-ass Star Wars movie, and that's what I got.
The fucking
I
hate online is amazing for this, and it was. I did not like The Force Awakens when I first saw
okay.
it, and we discussed this. I just wasn't a
Yes.
big fan of it. It took me a couple of watches, and I was like, okay, now I understand where they're coming from. This movie, holy fuck, out of the gate.
Yeah.
And it
And
just, man.
what drives me crazy is so prevalent has been the criticism that there's all these people say, oh, The Force Awakens was just a remake of Star Wars, which it was not.
It's
there,
stuck to the formula.
there are clearly callbacks, but to me, Force Awakens was kind of a love letter to the original trilogy, and we have to keep in mind that it had been 12 years since the last Star Wars movie, so there was a good decade from when Revenge of the Sith came out to when they started production, and the sequels are not beloved, so they had to write
The
shit.
prequels, the prequels were shit. He had to buy.
Yeah,
He had to win everybody back, and the only way you do that, and we discussed this, I do believe, at one point, is
yep. You
listen.
got to go back. Got to go back to basics.
4, 5,
Say
and 6 worked for you guys. We're going to do a movie that is basically 4, 5, and 6. We're back on board with you.
we're doing that, but I swear to God, it's the people who cried up and down that Force Awakens was just a remake of Star Wars that are now saying, "Oh no, this isn't even a Star Wars movie. It's so different." And I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
Did you motherfuckers watch Rogue One?
Yeah,
Because you're complaining about this not being a Star Wars movie. There weren't Jedi in Rogue One.
yeah. It
There
was
was
awesome.
some weird dude who kept going, "I am the Force is in me," or some shit like that. He was like a Buddhist guy, and he was blind. That's completely not Star Wars, by the way.
Did you like Rogue One?
It's the best Star Wars
I
movie
forget.
ever made.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I've watched it since then. I can't tell you how many times. I'll turn on fucking Netflix. I'll be going through because I got Netflix built into my TV, and I'll be like,
Yep.
Rogue One, boom, done.
Oh yeah, Rogue One done.
It's
And
real
then,
debatable. Do I find Jaws first or do I find Rogue One first on what gets
whatever
watched?
scrolls up first is what we're watching
Yeah,
tonight. And
I've seen Rogue One a few times.
yeah.
It's the best Star Wars movie ever made. I tell everybody that.
I don't agree with that, but I loved it.
Yeah, it was. What do you think? What do you think the best Star Wars movie ever made is?
That question is completely dependent on my mood. Uh,
Oh, oh, oh.
the top spot is Star Wars or Empire.
Okay.
Those two can vacillate based on my mood. Um, and there was a post on Facebook where people were putting by episode number their preference, and so I was playing along. And my big question is, does Last Jedi overtake The Force Awakens for
Yes.
me? I'm not sure.
Yeah, totally does.
But I can
Dude.
tell you this: there are so many people for whom the Holy Trinity is inviolable. Like your first three films are always some variation of 4, 5, 6. That is not the case for me. My order is now 5, 4, potentially swapping places
interchangeable.
depending on my sometimes Star Wars, sometimes not. 5, 4, 8, 7, and then 6. Because these two new movies I like more than Return of the Jedi. And
I would go 8, 6, 7.
8, 6, 7?
I would
That's
put.
fair.
Yeah, I'd put Jedi in front of Force Awakens.
I dropped my pen.
There's this great website. Have you ever been to it? It's Penn Island.
No.
PennIsland.com. Give it a shot sometime.
Okay.
It spells out it real quick. It spells out the word penis land.
Penn Island.
Penn
God,
Island, yeah.
can't believe I didn't get there on my own. I don't know what's wrong with
I
me.
can't
I'm
believe either.
I'm off my game. But yeah, and for so many people, the classic trilogy is inviolable.
No, it
Like
can totally
they're
be
all
broken. I
First
mean,
Three.
fucking
But
Force Awakens. As far as I'm concerned, Force Awakens is as good, if not better, than Empire.
Force
Not Force
Awakens, Last
Awakens.
Jedi,
I'm sorry. Hold
Last
on. Stop. Back up. Rogue One. Rogue One
Rogue
is
One. Okay,
as good, or if not better, than Empire.
and you see that's the other thing for me. I don't know because Rogue One is by definition separate.
That
I
is
don't
true.
rank it with the saga
But
films.
you couldn't have four without Rogue One.
Well, yeah, you
It's an
can. You
it's an
did for
extension.
4
It's an
years.
extension of Rogue
It is an extension, and it's a
of New
brilliant
Hope.
extension.
Yeah.
And it's got the best space battle for
Oh my
for the
god.
past for the
Oh,
past 34 wait, that was last year. So for 33 years, the title of best space battle has been held by Return of the Jedi because that was brilliant, had all three axes of movement. You've got ships going through capital ships, all that stuff. But
yeah, but what just
Rogue One,
happened the other night? Light speed right through a fucking ship.
that was awesome.
Dude, I saw that and I was like, and they did it right. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, you clicked on a podcast that says The Last Jedi. Guess what we're talking about? Fuck you if you didn't see it.
Oh yeah. Spoiler alert.
Don't use that.
Sorry.
Word. I hate that word. I'm gonna edit
I
that.
know, but it's
yeah,
it's
you
very
pander.
important
That's
to
fine.
me.
It's your podcast.
I don't pander. I respect people. Not everyone got to see it. Hey, not everyone has a 3D IMAX theater that's always empty by their house.
God damn it!
Had-
Six
when the
people. It was myself and six other people. I
Wow.
almost walked out and demanded. Did you have we had heated seats? I had reclining seats. This little fucking controller on the side.
Not have
If it-
heated seats.
If it
You
wasn't for
shut your mouth.
if it wasn't for that, I would have walked out. I would have been like, I can't handle this. I can see, and we have these super wide aisles. So I could barely see the people in front of me. But the fact that I knew that they were there, I was like, out.
I'm getting agoraphobic in here. You people have to leave. This is damaging my calm.
So cramped.
But yeah,
Bastards.
but Rogue One, best space battle, and it has one of my all-time favorite shots in a Star Wars movie when they're going into the space battle. You've got the camera mounted on the back of an X-wing, so it's looking out past the droid as it comes out of light
Yes.
speed into
Fuck.
the battle. I'm like,
Yes.
fuck, you don't like this movie. You don't like this movie. Fuck you. You're not. You're not. I can't. God, I can't even talk.
Oh my! It was like playing a fucking video game, dude. That's what the fucking games are like. That's exactly what the fucking video games are like. And you're sitting there, it's like, whoop, and then you're in, and it's like, it's go time.
Yep. And we got a. Oh, pardon me.
I know it's late for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got a Chromecast, and so I'm looking through on my phone, and some beautiful motherfucker out there cut all of the space battle together into a supercut, and I found out, I'm like, oh yeah, we're putting that on the television. So I got that on the TV because it's just a space battle and it's awesome.
That was
And-
it was That
And I
was
want
the
to
best.
cosplay as Blue Leader, as General Merrick, just because it'll give me an excuse to just have my bitchin' stash.
Look at that thing, like a
The missus-
stallion.
The missus has always, because I got the beard, and every once in a while I'll joke to the missus that I'm going to go just down to maybe a big handle stash, like keep it down here, keep the soul patch in there, and she tells me, she's like, you do that, you're cut off. And I'm like, okay, honey, we're married 15 years at this point. That could very easily go the other way.
Yeah.
How's my little, otherwise, bust out the handle stash, and we, how important is this to you?
Last Jedi, the opening battle scene, which was great, and
My God, I think I came because there's I've told you about the Star Wars X-wing miniatures game that I play.
this is why you are so in love with these battle
There's-
scenes, because you understand it, like you've been there mentally.
There's a maneuver called a Talon roll
Okay.
where you basically do a 90-degree turn, but your ship ends up turning. So, okay, you go 90 degrees, but then your ship turns another 90 degrees so that you end up facing back the way you were. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
got it.
it's like a loop. Like, is it a loop-de-loop kind of move where
It's
if
basically a skidding bootlegger's turn. It's a skidding 180
so
that you're doing.
basically if you're here
Yeah.
and you're flying along and then you go into a loop, but then you flip over.
Not a loop. This is like a lateral thing. So like, hang on.
All right.
So, uh, so back here towards me is the front of the ship, right?
Okay.
So I turn, but then at the end, like skid, and like I'm facing you.
Oh yeah, they did it. Poe did that.
He did that.
Oh yeah.
And each of my X-wing friends, we saw it separately, but all of us in the theater, talon roll, and it was fantastic.
I saw that move and I was like, I've never seen that done in an X-wing. But now you knowing the game are like
Yeah.
freaking out talon roll. I'm watching it not knowing that game, going,
But it's still pretty badass.
that was cool. We've never seen that before. But then
Yeah.
again, this is Poe. And Poe
Best
kicks
pilot in
ass.
the Resistance.
By the way, the other night is over at Jay's house. We're getting ready to do Real Booze, and we watched Ex Machina.
Oh, I love that movie.
I had never seen it before, and I didn't know he was in it. And Jay's like, "That's Poe." I was like, "Holy fuck, that is!" And then once I saw it last night, I saw Last Jedi. I was like, "Holy shit, that's totally him."
Wait. Oh God, Ken. Oh, my sweet summer child.
I know.
I'm about to blow your damn mind, Ken.
Oh, now what?
It's not just Poe in that movie. The dude, the programmer dude that comes out,
Yeah,
that's General Hux, dude.
the slick back hair.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was funny because they did Ex Machina before they did Force Awakens. So, everyone got signed, but everyone signed ironclad NDAs. They couldn't talk about it. So they both showed up for the table read, and they had just done a movie together. And they're like, "Oh, dude, you're in this?" And
I know you.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that guy fucking kicks ass.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's Domhnall Gleeson, son of Brendan Gleeson. The
relation to Jackie Gleason.
No, have you seen In Bruges? In Bruges, 28 Days Later, he was Hamish
in
Braveheart.
Bruges. My friend Zoshi has been all up my ass about seeing In Bruges, and I never had seen In Bruges.
You worthless cunt.
Well,
Okay.
fuck off. So here's what happened with her. I let her borrow my copy of True Romance because she'd never seen True Romance, and she let me borrow her copy of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And then she moved to Tucson, and I was like, you know what? You're going with my Blu-ray. I've still got your Blu-ray. As far as I'm concerned, this is a pretty damn good trade. We're still friends. We still talk, but still.
Naturally.
Because
okay, wait.
Yeah.
You remember Braveheart?
Yeah.
Hamish, the big dude.
I don't remember it that well, but you're you.
Okay.
So this is what happens when I hang out with you.
28 Days Later.
Yes.
The girl's dad. The little girl's dad.
Okay, the one who got the drop in his eye?
Yeah, got the drop in his eye.
Yeah.
That's Hux's dad in real life.
Huh.
All part of the service.
This is why I hate
Here
talking to you. This is why I hate talking
Lencho's House of Useless Knowledge.
Yeah, you
but,
just kind of zing, zing, zing it all together.
Zing, zing, zing.
Zing, 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 zing. Here you go. Boom.
And there have been so many people complaining about the humor in the movie, and I'm like, there's always been humor. And like I'm sorry. Right out there, holding for General Hux, that shit is funny.
That was fucking awesome.
Ass. And it's exactly in line with The Force Awakens when he's captured and they put him down in front of Kylo Ren.
Who goes
You got
first?
the whole.
Do I talk first? You talk first?
You
Who talks
talk
first?
first. I talk first. That's that character. That's who that is. That's established. It's not like this is out of nowhere. People are talking about the Disneyfication of the movie, and I don't get that. I'm not saying. I mean, these movies are just progressing. I mean, don't get me wrong. At this point, it's a product. The Star Wars movies, the Marvel movies, these are now they now classify as product. But you know what?
Considering
They're a
Disney
damn
just bought Fox.
but they're a damn good product. They
Yeah.
they know how to make a good movie. And people talk about the Disneyfication, but this movie took risks. This movie did things we haven't seen before, and everyone's flipping the fuck out. People are flipping the fuck out about, wait, who is Snoke? Who fucking cares? If you came into The Last Jedi dying to find out the truth about who Snoke is, you're doing this wrong. You're doing Star Wars wrong. I can't help you. Because think about it, and Ryan Johnson was interviewed about this, and he was talking about the decision-making process when they're writing, and he's like, what am I going to do? In the middle of that throne room scene, which is awesome.
Dude,
But
which throne room scene? Are you talking about the very last throne room scene?
when he's got Rey there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let's back up. We're going too fast.
We're going too fast.
We're going too fast. I was going back. I want to start from the beginning, the bombing run with the B-Wings.
Yes.
And how you see the racks, because I always knew B-Wings are bombers. And Y-Wings are also, if I recall.
Yeah. But these are neither of those. These are the BSF-14 heavy bomber.
Okay, but they're a derivative of the B-Wing.
They're much bigger. They're much bigger.
Which I noticed, but they're built like a B-Wing. They got the fucking up and down thing. What other ship
They
looks
have the
like
up and down. They have the up and down.
Okay,
thing.
there we go. That's what I'm going with. But
Gotcha.
the way the bomb bay doors open on the bottom, and they had the fucking all the bombs, and they all light up. And shit, I was freaking out. I was like, I want to see these things fucking drop. I want to see how in the fuck this happens. And then what happens? They all get blown to shit. They all fucking die except for one. And that last one was a fucking luck.
And the missus and I disagree on this, but and they played that in the film like Poe messed up, like Poe did the wrong thing. I'm sorry, I will admit that Poe is my guy. That's my favorite character. Yeah. But I agree with him 100% that dreadnought destroyed their base with like 2 shots from those massive cannons. It could destroy capital. It's like, yeah, you get a shot at that thing, you take the shot. That's what they were doing. That's why the bombers were there.
But how many dreadnoughts did they have? There's a fucking
one.
That was the only dreadnought they had.
It's only dreadnought. That's a rare ship. It's
it was
fleet
the
killer.
Dreadnought, not a dreadnought.
Well, it was the dreadnought in that fleet.
But they have more dreadnoughts.
They do.
Okay.
But they don't have like an infinite supply of them, and it's a high value target. Like he said, it's a fleet killer. It's a ship that just comes up and chews through everything. So if you get a shot at it, you take it.
Let's play the devil's advocate on this. Let's say he did pull off. Let's say they pulled everyone back. They would still have the same fucking problem they did, which was they were being tracked.
Yeah. But then they would have the additional problem of this fleet killer ship
of a fucking dreadnought attacking them, because they were staying just out of range the whole time.
Yeah,
that dreadnought would have been able to shoot further than that and be able to fuck them up. If they didn't take out that dreadnought, they would. I think very possible. Yeah, they would use that big fucking gun, got in a huge ship, and see you later, sayonara, sucker.
Yep.
Which then leads me into a great scene. I mean, that was. All right, flying Leia.
It's funny because
God, I was hoping she died. I was like, here's your opportunity. You can get rid of her.
Yeah, but if you got rid of her, then she and Luke don't reunite, and I needed that. I needed to see those 2 characters come back together. But
they did. They had closure. The two.
Yes.
They had closure. They got their closure. So I'll give you that.
And I tell you, the actual visual effect, like the long shot where you see her whole body, that's one of the drawbacks that's one of the things I could, like, people's complaints. That's one where it's like, okay, I'll check that box. That's legit. It doesn't look great. But what's funny is And so these people, so this is another thing. There's clearly an emotional component at play in a Star Wars film.
Oh yeah.
For me, I've been seeing them since I was 5, which is why I can't relate to the people who are complaining about that, about how that shot looked. Because yes, the people are comparing it to Mary Poppins, and rightly so,
Holy
because
shit!
that's how it. Yes, that's how it looked.
And it's a Disney movie. Oh God. Okay.
So people are calling it Leia Poppins, and
Leia
yeah, that's
Poppins.
legit. But what's funny is I didn't notice that the first time I saw it. Because okay, remember the scene? You got
Oh, I saw it last night. I saw it less than 24 hours ago.
No, I know, but just to take us through, you've got the scene from the trailer where Kylo's coming through and he's got his thumbs poised over the triggers, but then you've got, and they do this twice in the film. They just perfectly cut from Kylo's face to Leia's face to show the Force connection between them, and it's almost seamless. Like one face just becomes the other face. They do that twice in the film, and it seems to be just really great editing. It doesn't seem like there's much of an effect there, like a CG effect or anything. It looks like it's just edited. Of course, it has an effect on the audience.
Well, yeah.
But so you've got Kylo, he's about to shoot, he doesn't shoot, but then his wingmen shoot and they fire their missiles and Leia is blown out, and I audibly gasped at that. That shocked me. And then at light speed, my brain is thinking, wait, I don't remember any other shots of Leia in the trailer. Oh my God, is this how they kill Leia? Is this how Leia dies? Oh my God, this can't happen. And so then when the camera closes on her in the vacuum, it's tight on her face and you're playing the Leia theme, and
Yeah.
then her hand opens. I felt such relief that I barely noticed the Leia Poppins shot.
See, for me, it was when they hit, again, with him holding off on that shot, I was like, he still feels something. There's still an inner conflict. There's still total inner conflict with Kylo Ren. But, and again, when those guys shot off, I was like, holy fuck. And then when she went out, it blew and it voomp. I was like, I felt relief. I felt like, the problem I have is knowing that she's dead in real life. How are they going to close off the character? How are they going to get rid of Leia? And I was like, maybe this is like a kind of a post-production thing where they went, we can just make this happen right there. We don't have to worry about it. We cut out her scenes and okay. Done deal. See you later, Leia. But yeah, they did the whole Poppins thing. But how many times were there moments? Now, I felt them several times throughout this movie. And Mike Byrne and I actually had a conversation about it earlier today regarding the Disneyfication, the lightheartedness, the pandering to the kids aspect of this, especially like the casino scene, the whole casino, everything. But
I'm not a fan of Canto Bight. I'll cop to that right off the bat.
But the thing is that stuff, that levity that was brought to certain areas of the movie, I water off a duck's back. I at the time noticed someone was like, okay, let's just get through this real quick. And it immediately went to something else. It was not a happy movie. And the most fucking part that I was, goddamn, we need to have this discussion about crate dragons. They're on the planet Crate. Crate. But I read today,
it's
crate dragons. Oh, fuck. Because crate dragons, I read today that they're only on Tatooine. And when he said they're going to the planet, I'm like, yeah. But then I was like, oh shit, there's going to be a way for like the dragons to magically show up and like fuck up the Empire or the First Order. And I was like kind of worried they were going to be.
No, that would be if Star Wars was written by Tolkien. Then that would. But
those little dogs, those guys were cool.
And here's the crystal foxes.
There were certain aspects that
which sounds like a disco roller derby group. It
Crystal
ought to be like the Crystal Foxes. That would be fantastic.
But let's go back to.
No.
I'm sorry. Go. Yep.
Progress here. So then we go to Octo, where Rey is meeting Luke.
And he gets the lightsaber and throws it over his shoulder.
And chucks it.
I fucking love that.
And everyone's talking about, oh my God, how do you treat Luke Skywalker this way? And it's like that episode 7 didn't set us up for anything else.
Right.
Luke left.
He's done being a Jedi.
He checked out.
He's
he didn't tell Leia where he was going. He
went to that
feels
place
failure.
to die.
He feels shame. He's like, this. No, we're done here.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly that reaction felt very natural to me. That it didn't shock me. I've seen
I
comments
laughed.
like,
I thought it was funny.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I laughed. I saw it for the joke that it was. But also, I mean, just people were like, "Oh my God, this is what you're doing to Luke Skywalker," and it's like, okay, hang on. JJ did this to Luke Skywalker. This was where it was set up to be. He
failed. He knew he couldn't be a Jedi, a fucking trainer. Then he's totally disillusioned by the whole Jedi religion. As a matter of fact, he just was like, no, the Jedis are fucking pretentious assholes.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's not about this. Which, if you go back to Rogue One with the planet on Jakir or whatever the fuck it was, the crystals and stuff, and now I'm the Force,
Jedha.
Force in me. Yeah, Jedha. How on that planet, and it's really kick-ass because that set us up to show us it's not Christianity versus Satanism. It's not Jedi versus Sith. That there are Hindus, there are Buddhists, there are other people out there, there are other belief systems who believe in the Force, they just do it a different way.
And I like that it's becoming less rigid again. Because
Kylo said it best. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go, what?
The word Sith does not appear in the classic trilogy. That there is not that dichotomy there.
In the marketing, there was. I remember when I was
in the marketing. Darth Vader is
Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. Yeah,
Dark Lord of the Sith. But no one knew what the Sith. No one knew what that meant.
Right.
No one. When Timothy Zahn went to write the Heir to the Empire trilogy, there was a race of creatures that he was going to call Siths, just because no one knew what that meant. No one knew what that word was.
No.
Until the prequels. And in the prequels, you've got this very rigid dichotomy of what the Jedi Order is. And
they're assholes, but so are the Sith.
Well, but a lot of people referred to the prequels, the Jedi in their prime. That was not the Jedi in their prime. That was the Jedi in their descent. That was when they were so rigid they couldn't adapt and they were wiped out.
Because it's Old Republic. You go back way before.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's like in episode 1 when Mace Windu says, when Qui-Gon says, I can only conclude that this was a Sith Lord. And Mace Windu's like, I don't think the Sith could have returned without us knowing. That is exactly like Grand Moff Tarkin saying, evacuate? A moment of triumph? I think you overestimate that. It's the same hubris.
Hubris. And there you go.
Coming right before their fall, as it does. And so then we're on Crate. And eventually, Rey does get his attention when she goes right to the tree. She is drawn to that place where the sacred Jedi texts are.
And he says, like, "Why are you there? What are you doing?"
Yep.
We got a whole fucking conversation about that. Oh my god.
Should have been called the Journal of the Wills, but I'll let that pass.
You have to. And fucking Yoda's showing up. Let's go back.
Hang on.
What?
Hang on. Backtrack.
Well, we have to backtrack.
Funny that you mentioned Yoda, because I hear a lot of, because there are AT-AT walkers on a white plane, they're ripping off Empire.
Dude, with the fucking fist with the spikes on the arms?
The gorilla walkers, yeah.
Yeah! Those things kicked ass!
So you've got people who have been waiting months to say how it ripped off Empire. You're talking about the Disneyfication with all the jokes. And here's my question. How have none of you jackholes who claim to be such an expert, how have none of you noticed or mentioned in your comments online exactly how much like Yoda Luke is acting towards Rey? He's fucking with her the whole time.
Dude.
The same way Yoda was fucking with him when he first showed up. Because
Yoda
Yes,
gave up. Yoda ran away. Yoda was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
the reach out scene. Yes, it was a silly joke, but it's also very much in keeping with how Yoda behaved.
Do you feel that? Do
You
you feel
feel
that?
that? Oh, it's the Force. Oh, you must be so strong. You know, and
He's like, "Oh
he's
my
like, listen,
god."
listen, dipshit. I'm gonna teach you some things.
I feel really good about this. We actually really agree on this movie, like hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's.
And this is a movie where you can't take that for granted, because and there's
If you know your Star Wars shit, like really fucking know your Star Wars shit, you know this. You appreciate this movie.
but there are some people where knowing their Star Wars shit was a bit of a detriment.
They didn't understand it.
Well, because this movie takes risks, because this movie is character based. A it's not about the war necessarily. I mean, you've got your opening space combat, very cool. But then it's like the Ford Bronco chase in space where we're just slowly pursuing each other. That's not meant to be exciting. That's not what's happening.
But that builds tension.
Yeah, you've got tension building, and you're building Poe's character arc there. You're showing him learn more about leadership. And
Yeah.
the stuff with Luke and Rey,
Dude, and Rose, character out of fucking nowhere who I hated the minute I saw her, and by the end of the movie, I fucking loved this character.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is
Rose just means just fucking annoying, whatever, who cares? And at the end, you're like, oh my god,
yeah.
keep her
And-
alive.
Yes. It's like, no, you can't kill her.
No.
You can't sacrifice herself.
Yeah.
There was such a great moment at the premiere. The actress who plays her, Kelly Marie Tran, she's the child of I think Vietnamese refugees
I'd go with
who
that.
came to this country, and so her parents sacrificed. There's like she
Who's
was
the
at
chin?
fucker.
Lethal Weapon reference. We didn't say
Quote
it. Fucking, that
quoting.
was a
We've been
quote. That
talking
was-
about it.
that
That's
was
legit.
That was Martin Riggs.
But at the premiere, she actually broke down just because it finally hit her. Because her parents had nothing and sacrificed for her entire life and wanted her to chase her dreams. And now here she is in a Star Wars movie. And that's fucking awesome.
But her sister in the movie who died was way hotter than she is.
It was the hotter sister. I will grant
She
you
was
that.
like, it happens. But I love the character. She was great.
She's fantastic.
She grew on me. But in 2 hours and 32 minutes, or hours, whatever, fucking for 2 hours and 30. Yeah, it was.
And finally, we have Asian characters in Star Wars.
Who, by the way, aren't like they were in the prequels. Oh, we're going to sit down, hold them off, and we're going to sit there and get our. What was it? The fucking Federation.
The Trade Federation, the Nemoidians.
Yeah. So there you go. But then you like, again, I have.
Fucking Christ,
Oh my god! It's like, are you racist? I'm like, well, I drive a fast car.
It's. I don't think I'm racist. I really think it was the movie that was racist.
It was the movie.
I just noticed and laughed.
That's why I'll quote Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator, and people be like, "How can you say those words?" I'm like, I didn't call you a slack-jawed faggot. That was Jesse the Body Ventura. It was a line from a movie.
That is a legitimate film quote. I can take you right to it in the scene. Right before I talk about myself being a goddamn sexual
Tyrannosaurus. Oh, you gotta get your ass down here, man. We gotta watch movies.
Yep, Predator. I think.
They're remaking it.
No, it's going to be like a sequel.
Oh, I heard it was a reboot.
They use all these words,
Man,
but it's Shane Black.
It is writing it instead of being in it, or is he in it?
Yes. I don't know. He's writing and directing. I don't know if he appears in it because Hawkins died. Sadly.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, he died. His arm got blown off.
You know what? You know what movie doesn't get the respect that it should?
The Hidden, Fade to Black. Remember Fade to Black? Ow my leg.
Ow my leg. But God, Tim Thomerson. I remember watching Transfer. We'll get back to the
All
Last
right. Yeah,
Jedi.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I remember watching Trancers when I was a kid on HBO, and that was Helen Hunt's first big break, like in a film. And Tim
Trancers.
Thomerson was the lead. He was like this sci-fi time traveling cop or something. And I remember watching that movie, thinking, "Wow, Tim Thomerson is a really mediocre actor."
You really
Oh,
can't.
oh, and she's really pretty. But
Oh my god, vaguely. Did the VHS cover, was it black with like a grid pattern on it?
sure.
Okay, I remember movies by what their VHS
I know
boxes
there
look
were.
like.
What's fucked up is I know there were at least 3 Trancers flicks,
Oh god.
and Helen Hunt appeared in each of them. She had a brief cameo by the time of the third one, but you know what? I love that. I love it when actors are like, you know what? You gave me my first big break. Yes, I will.
I'll come back and pay my respects.
You've got me for 2 days, and I'll be in a couple of scenes, and that's it.
Fucking, we're watching Lethal Weapon the other day. And Mr. Mendez was there, and they're like, "Do you smoke? Do you smoke?" And they get his hand up there, and they get Mr. Joshua puts his left arm up, right arm, left arm, because we had a discussion about that. And Mendez is sitting there burning it, and we're talking. I'm like, that guy right there was in a movie called The Hidden.
Yeah.
I own an original Hidden movie poster. I fucking love The Hidden.
I haven't seen it in at least 20 years. I've got to check it out.
Oh, me
There are
neither. Me neither.
there-
I just found it
there-
for like $5 online somewhere.
there are so many movies that I'm actually afraid to watch again. Because I'm like, because there have been a lot of movies that I've gone back to, and the
It's been bad. Are you still there? Did I lose
Yeah, I'm
you?
here.
Oh, okay. You froze up.
Did I? I'm sorry.
You did. No, it's not your fault. It's just
I
your internet or
did.
whatever. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
but-
Uh,
Let-
Anyway, okay.
but-
Let's Star Wars.
Yep, Star
We
Wars.
should-
Okay.
We should have sketched this out. We should.
I have a.
We're having a regular conversation.
I have a
which is
couple of notes, but
Okay.
I didn't get very far. Then I had to figure out how Skype and technology worked again.
God, I'm sorry. I set everything up, but it's been so long. But now you got it working, so fuck it, whatever.
Okay, so last bit, Luke acting like Yoda, and none of you fucknuts noticed. Dipshits.
But I wanted to kind of chronologically go through the movie itself, like we did the bombers. They get
Yep.
all fucked up, and we agree that it's like, well, Poe didn't do that when they got chased. Every time they jumped, the light speed was
Yeah.
33 seconds later. Sound really familiar? Did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
The new one?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's right, you didn't. Season 1, they did the movie, and then the very first episode was called 33 Minutes. Every time they jumped, 33 minutes later, the Cylons would show up. And the episode starts off 5 days into this.
Oh.
And they're just pumping them full of speed. They're just all fucking tweaked out, like, we can't keep going. And we keep losing fighters, so they have to jump, figure out where they're going to go next, launch fighters, Cylons come in, hold them off while the fleet jumps away, and then the fighters get back into the fleet, and then everybody jumps away, and then 33 minutes later, it all happens again. So it's enough time to get on there, get loaded back up with armaments, fuel, boom, Cylons are back, let's go. 33 minutes for 5 days.
Wow.
Dude, the pilots are fucked up. So that's why here when they said they come back and it's 33 minutes or 33 seconds later or whatever, that was I felt a reference to Battlestar. Which, shame on you for not watching.
So, so yeah, we agree with Poe. Then we see Luke and Rey on Octo, and she is slowly winning him over. Oh my God, I loved when, he slams the door, says go away, and then there's the heavy banging, and then the door like explodes inward. And for a split second, I'm like, did Rey like force push the door in, and then Chewie could barrel in?
Yeah. Oh,
Saying-
and that part was like, Chewie was like, yeah, we're here with the Falcon, and he goes, where's
Yep.
Han? And it's like,
Yep.
oh shit.
And then cut to Kylo Ren reporting to Snoke, and Snoke ridiculing his helmet, which apparently you don't do. Don't mess with Kylo's helmet because
Fucking
he'll.
Kylo's a little. I like the character way more now than I did.
Oh God, yes. Adam Driver is
And that
phenomenal.
motherfucker works out. See how big he was?
Yeah, dude, 6'4". He was a Marine.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was 6'4".
I think he's
He's
well over.
big. That motherfucker
Good
had
few
his shirt
inches
off in
over
that
6 foot.
one scene, and he was just. I was like,
Little mahogany,
I,
little ebony.
I thought he was like fucking some twerp. No, no, he's built. I'm not saying I'm gay. I'm not. But if I was, he's still
You
got
could
weird,
go for a
he's got
little of
weird
that?
Nose, still got a weird nose and stuff.
He's got the nose. He's got
He's
the
got
snot.
the
But
scar. Which
yeah,
when they fixed that fucking scar on his face, that was nuts.
yeah.
No back to tank needed. Well, and it was the thing when what's his face when Finn was walking and he had that suit on.
Yeah, he'd like a traveling back to tank.
That's what it was. That's what I figured out. I was like, he's walking, he's squirting all over the place. I'm like, what the hell? First, I was like, why isn't he in a back to tank? And I was like, oh, it's like a mobile Bacta. Oh, wow,
He's like,
cool. Hey.
like in a back to suit.
It's been 20 years, 30 years in movie time, and also in real time since we've seen a Bacta. I guess the technology has changed because guess what? In real life, technology has changed also.
Or maybe it was done out of necessity because maybe the Resistance doesn't have enough Bacta to have like tanks full of it. So they're like, yeah, we can't give you gallons to sit in. We got to make this suit so you get like a few liters
Right.
circling to do the Bacta stuff for you.
Because, once again, going back to Rogue One, seeing Vader in a fucking Bacta tank, and that
Yeah.
one Sith Lord comes, that one Sith acolyte comes up and kneels to him, I was just like, oh my god. Like I said, that movie is fucking perfect. It's
Yeah.
the best Star Wars movie ever. I'm just watching Vader go crazy. But anyway, so this one, yeah, when they had to explain to Luke what happened with Han,
Yep.
the kitty aspect of those little bird things.
And you know what? The Porgs didn't bother me at all.
They didn't bother me either.
Mostly
Okay, yeah.
mostly because people are like, oh, and then they didn't even do anything, and I'm like, no, that's the good news. They didn't do anything. We didn't have the Porgs come in and defeat the First Order. We're done with that particular metaphor.
Yeah. They didn't Ewok out. But in real life, in right around New Zealand, that area, there are these birds called kakapos. Kakapo. Kakapo. And they're also known as owl parrots or parrot owls.
Yes.
Are exactly like them. They're a hugely endangered species. And if you listen to, there's an audio book of Douglas Adams, who did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There was an audio book of a book that he did called Last Chance to See. And it's about him traveling the world visiting endangered species. And one of the things he does is go see these kakapos. And they're just exactly like they were in the movie. They just walk up to you and they're like, hey, what's going on? They can't fly. They don't have any natural predators, so they see people and they're just like, yo, what's up? Do you want to be friends? Because they don't, the thought of something eating them never occurs to them because it doesn't happen.
Probably why they're almost extinct.
Yeah, that's also why we don't have any dodos and there's a bunch of other animals in that area because they would just walk up and be like, hi, how are you? And Dutch settlers would be like, I have a stick. I'm going to hit you in the head, and I'm going to eat you. Which pissed me off that Chewie had one in his hand, and he was like, I'm not going to eat it now. It's like, fuck that. They taste good. You can keep one as a friend.
Oh,
I know people who have pet goats.
Chewie ate that porg. He might have given a few respectful moments, but Chewie ate that porg.
Chewie ate that pork.
Jaina, my youngest, was not happy that he was eating a porg.
Really?
She was like, oh. Her face was exactly like the little porg faces. That's exactly what she was doing. She loves porgs.
What are those damn things called? Those so electronic little fuzzy dolls that can talk. What?
Furby.
Kirby?
Furby.
Furby. I thought you said herpes. For a second, I'm like, no, don't give your daughter herpes. Hold on.
Herpes for kids.
Like in Ice Pirates. Space herpes. The ship has herpes.
Here, kids, you'll have this
Here
forever.
you go. But
Yep.
yeah, those things are fucking
Son.
awesome. They came out with them again like a couple years ago, and they made them smarter than they used to be.
Yes, but then they realized they would take over if they were not stopped. So,
Dude, I had one back in the day.
I got Dawn the Pikachu Furby, who was like Pika Pika.
Oh, I
And-
didn't know that happened.
Oh, wait. I don't know if it was actually a Furby, but it was very similar. I mean, it was that
No,
kind
that
of
would
toy,
make sense. That would make
but
sense.
it was Pikachu. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, when Furbies were like really hard to find, I was working at the comic book store, and I was, Linda and I were together, and I remember we stopped into a Toys R Us one day, and like one of my customers was working there, and I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, you got any Furbies? He goes, yeah, I got one sitting down here. You want it? I was like, get the fuck out of here. He was like, yeah. Cover price was like, what are they, $30 when they came out or something
like that.
Yeah, I remember buying the damn thing. Oh my god. It eventually died when we put it in the closet, and its batteries finally killed itself. But that motherfucker, and I can remember in the middle of the night, it was just like, help me. It was whatever. It wasn't saying help me. It was just talking. It was...
You put it in the closet, Ken. It didn't die from batteries. It died of loneliness. And you did that.
No,
That's
Linda,
something you're going to
I'm going
live
to blame her on this one. She fucking listens to this podcast. I ran into her a few months ago, but she might listen to this podcast. I'm blaming her on this shit. Anyway, good, because it almost
We're in
killed
it.
us because of annoyance. So we just got the opposite.
Yes.
But anyway, so all right, so now we got... Where are we at in the movie?
Well,
Let's talk about. Goddamn, 2 hours.
we've gotten the Canto Bite.
That was the name of the planet that Luke was on.
No, Luke is on Octo. Now we're at Canto Bite, where Rose and Finn go to look for the Master
The
Codebreaker,
casino.
the casino planet.
Yeah, okay, so this is an entire area of the movie that could be almost completely eliminated. However, first shot of the casino, when it opens up, there's this girl who's like pale white with pale white hair who is smoking fucking hot, and you see her for like half a second. I was like,
Yes.
hey now.
And I just picked up the soundtrack today. I want to listen to it because I swear it's John Williams' interpretation of a Barry Manilow song. Like, you listening to the music going in there, it's a little bit like the Cantina music, but I swear to God, I think it's John Williams' interpretation of Copacabana. It's Alien Copacabana.
My God. I was listening to Copacabana when I was waiting for you to unfuck your computer.
Copacabana makes me crazy. I hate. I've come to hate that song. It's the one Manilow song they play at work, and they play it a lot. So if I never ever hear it again, I'm really fine with that.
Oh my God.
So yeah, Canto Bite. That's a segment of the film that I actively had little patience with. And here's part of the reason is I don't love Finn. Finn is not like the best character in the world, which is odd because I love John Boyega. John Boyega is delightful.
Attack
and
the
he's
Block, baby.
I just saw Attack the Block a couple months ago.
You just saw it?
Yeah, I had never seen it before.
Oh, fuck, dude. I saw it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Truth. Believe. Or, excuse me. Truth.
True. Hey, bro. Brova. God.
God, it was a good fucking movie.
It is a good movie.
When the fucking thing's there and it smiles and you see the blue and you're like, are those its eyes? Oh, no, those are its teeth.
Yep.
Wow.
And the chick in that is the new Doctor on Doctor Who.
Also, we watched, I was over at Jay's and we watched Black Mirror, an episode of Black Mirror. Like, I watched half of it and I was like, I gotta go. That chick was apparently in this episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, it's a great episode, too.
I got halfway through it and then I was just like, I'm fucking tired. I'm going home.
But yes, okay.
So we're on the casino situation.
Yes. Where most of the time I'm thinking, okay, can we please get back to Ray and Luke? And thank God BB-8 is here.
Yeah, he's Jumbo. Yeah, Finn. He's good, but he's just like you said. He's kind of look what he was doing. The only reason he got wrapped up in this because he was trying to fucking escape.
Yes.
He was
And
like,
so, and that does make for a nice character arc for Finn, because you have where he is literally about to jump ship, but by the end of the movie, he's ready to sacrifice himself because he's like, no, I'm not going to let them win. So
yeah.
it is a good character arc for him. So hopefully we can get him back
He
on
did
track.
he did a solo.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kind of, and that was great when Luke was describing about what happened with Ben, and I was turning into Kylo, and he was talking to Rey about it, and he goes, Han was Han.
Han about it.
Yeah. It was so matter of fact. I just everything that happened with Luke in this movie was just very matter of fact. It was an adult way of looking at the fucking whole Jedi thing.
Yeah.
It was,
and this film is, I just love that all of these characters are just so damaged. They are inherently damaged. Rey is an orphan who was afraid to leave Jakku because she convinced herself that her family would come back one day.
And do you think what Kylo told her was truth, or was he lying to her?
I don't think Kylo was lying. They could. JJ could come back and do something else and say that that's not actually what it was.
He's fucking Sith, dude. That's what the Sith do.
They're actually not Sith. They're just dark side. They're not actually like in the Sith religion. It's why he's Kylo Ren. He's not Darth Kylo.
That's because there was what was that? That whole order that formed after Vader died. The Knights of Ren.
The Knights of Ren, yes.
Okay. Still, they're dark side. They're lying, deceit. That's what Snoke was doing the whole time to him. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to use you to kill these people, and I'm going to make it sound like that. Ooh, I can see your density, destiny."
Your density. Yeah, and that's one thing that people have expressed frustration with that I kind of share. I would have liked to see the Knights of Ren. I would have liked to see at least another reference to them. Like, what are they up to? We saw them in Rey's Force vision, and we can infer that the Knights of Ren are at least partially made up by the students that went with Kylo.
I think what we need to do is have more episodes. I'm seeing it again tomorrow. And
excellent.
Really break down.
And I swear,
like every Star Wars movie, there's 3 stories going on.
Yeah, and love it or hate it, whether you loved it the first time or hated it the first time, I absolutely recommend a second viewing.
Yeah, I loved it the first time, and
because there have been times like when a Jim Butcher book comes out where I'm like just there's such urgency to get that into my brain that I like tear through the book so fast. And so like I get it, and then I almost immediately I'll go and I'll reread it and just kind of savor it. That's what the second time seeing The Last Jedi was for me. That's
and to kind of quote what you just said right there, love it or hate it. It reminds me of another quote that I heard once: "Love him or hate him, Hitler killed a lot of Jews."
God.
It was just, I'll edit that out. I can edit. It's all about editing.
You're not affiliated with me.
You don't know me. So I want to have because right now we're just sitting here just talking, like we're so gushing over this movie.
Yes.
And it was so fucking good. And there's so many aspects of it. So tell you what, take some notes. Let's whenever you have some time later on in the week, let's have another conversation. Again, this is your podcast. It's kind of your thing. I know I'm thrusting a job upon you. Let's have a conversation, but the structure of the conversation. Other than that, we're still just going to talk.
Hey, Star Wars is my kind of homework, so that works.
It's let's talk. I really want to get into the whole Force aspect of things. How Luke flat out disillusioned by the Jedi Order. Who,
And before we close out this one, I do want to talk about just the bridging of Kylo and Rey throughout the film, having them interlinked in the way that they are is something we have not seen before on this scale, and that alone is such new and exciting territory.
But with Luke dying, he didn't die. Obi-Wan. What happened with Obi-Wan? He just kind of fell apart. He just kind of whoosh. Yoda, whoosh.
Yes.
Luke, whoosh. Became one with the Force. He didn't die. He became one with the Force.
Yep.
That's all it was. I didn't see it as a death. I saw it as a moving on.
Right.
He'll be in the next movie.
But when Kylo and Rey are talking, and Rey is like in the salt spray of the ocean, and then when they break off, Kylo like wipes water from his face.
Oh,
how does that not excite you? I swear,
I didn't even notice that. I'll look for that tomorrow night.
And Kylo like wipes his face, and he's got like seawater on his glove, and I swear, like 2% of my brain was very rigid and saying, "Wait, no, that's not how the Force works. That doesn't do that." But the other 98% of my brain is like, "Holy shit, this is awesome! What else is going to happen?"
What in the fuck is there? How are they so? Oh man!
May the good Lord bless you and keep you mentioned.
Flautes. You know what a flautes is?
No.
They're like these little taquito things, and they were in the freezer, and I was like, these are going to go bad. They're just kind of like over frozen. And I was like, I will eat all of them. I really like Mexican food. So, but what's their relationship with each other with the Force? Like, how are they so fucking connected?
Well, remember in the throne room, Snoke says that he was responsible for bridging them. He brought, but
lies.
Their connection is so profound. I swear to God, after I saw The Force Awakens, I wondered if there was a potential romantic relationship between these two characters. I
felt that on this one.
I wondered at the end of The Force Awakens, because I'm like, I don't want her to be with Finn. I wonder if that will be the means of his redemption. Because clearly, at least as of the last movie, it looked like he was going to be on the Vader arc, where he would eventually be redeemed, and that may still happen.
The mask. I didn't really like that mask.
Sad lampshade.
I'm kind
of. There was after Force Awakens, someone started an emo Kylo Ren Twitter page.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And he was posting stuff, and he's like, "Uncle Lando made fun of my hat, of my helmet again. I hate Uncle Lando."
Uncle Lando.
He called it a sad lampshade.
I was hoping
he laughed and high-fived him and stuff.
I was hoping Lando would show up on the casino planet.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect place just to.
But we got Benicio, and I got to tell you what, Benicio's character, while quirky and stuff, I liked his fucking character. I really liked that character, especially when he just turns. He's like, "What? You're gonna kill each other now? You'll be killing each other then? Doesn't make a difference. This will always be happening."
Yeah. And I like how when they steal the ship and he points out, "Oh yeah, this guy sells weapons," and it's like TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptor, Walker, X-Wing.
Mm-hmm.
He sells to everybody.
Yeah. The war is always going on. I don't care who to sell to.
As
long as I make my money.
I forget exactly what he says, but he's like, "You want to win? Don't play. That's how you win."
And that's true. That's war games. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna quit recording here. Luncho, amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah. We will talk later on this week after my second viewing, and we will sketch some stuff out. I really want to go over this whole
Last Jedi Part 2.
Say goodbye, Luncho.
Goodbye, Lencho.